Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of Super Rugby Pacific, and with the most recent win that we've seen in the competition, it is all but confirmed for the top six. Although this game, the Hurricanes win it or they just get some form of points, they can guarantee number one spot heading into the final round. Looking at the table and the way that it sits, unfortunately for the Highlanders, their season is almost done and dusted. They have, of course, got this game, but they've got the bye in the last round, which means that this will be the last time see the Landers take to the field for 2026. The Hurricanes, they are currently 4 points clear of the Chiefs. They have got the game next week. So do the Chiefs. The Chiefs will be playing the Blues. The Hurricanes have the Crusaders in Christchurch. So a couple good matches still to come. But like I said, a couple of points would go a long way, because theoretically that would mean that the Hurricanes shouldn't be able to be caught. Now, of course, there's still the technicalities of if they weren't able to get the points in this department. But yeah, 2 from this game or a win, which they are expected to do with the odds the way that they sit, would get them that number one spot and mean no matter what, they do sit in the first place heading into the playoff games. Looking through at the previous form for these two sides, the Hurricanes have been on quite a roll as of late, getting the win over the Blues, Moana Pacifica, and also the Crusaders, the side that they do rematch just next week. For the Highlanders, they were beaten by the Fijian drawer. They narrowly managed to get past the Waratahs, and they did have a heavy defeat to the Chiefs just last week. So just not quite the season that the Highlanders would have been after. They have lost Caleb Tangitau due to injury. We also see still no Cam Roigard for the Hurricanes, but two very good-looking sides ready to go for this New Zealand derby. Here on the Saturday night, looking through at the starting lineup at the front row, it is Luaki alongside Asafua Moa and Tossi. As the number 3, Isaiah Wakaliawiri and Warner Durns in the locking duo with Devon Flanders, Peter Larkai and Braden Yossi. He slots in as that number 8, Eritara Inari alongside Ruben Love in the 19 combination. Kini Naholo comes into the starting lineup as the left winger, Geordie Barrett and Balin Sullivan in the midfield, with Natunani Punivai out on the right, and Josh Morby as the number 15 for the Highlanders. They have also made a few changes, but in the front row it is the same. Ethan de Groot, Jack Taylor and Angus Ta'aval. Thomas Lavanini alongside Dunshay in the locking duo, and then TK Howden, Lucas Casey, who was absolutely incredible in that game up against the Chiefs last week, even in defeat, and Hugh Renton there as the number 8. Nick Shearer into the starting lineup with Cam Miller as the 10. Jonah Lowe out on the left wing. Timothy Tavanawai, he is sitting there at 12 with Jonah Nariki at 13. Xavier Tito Harris comes in for the injured Caleb Tangitau, and then Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nipkins, he is the number 15 for this game. Looking through at the comments, we have got there the smiling face from Bad to the Bone. And also we have got the one thing about Hamish, judging by his diverse array of backup commentators, is he's not xenophobic. It's like a fear of like foreign people, isn't it? I think. And I hope the man's back for tonight's goal. Go the Canes. And where are you, mate? I am here. Fun fact, Josh Morby, he is playing fullback for this game. It's been shuffling between fullback as well as out on the right wing. We've seen Callum Harkin as another player who's done extremely well, although he's been given the break in this case. We on see Simon there. And also 60 plus for the Canes. It'd be kind of funny if the Chiefs played Blues in the qualifying final. So here's Jasmine. Well, the thing is, with their win for the Crusaders over the Chiefs, the Blues have quite a bit of pressure on their game next week up against the Chiefs, because technically the Crusaders can sneak up into that third spot and then host a playoff final. And the craziest thing is, if the Blues were to lose to the Chiefs, just looking at the way that the table is, right, they could actually end up playing the Brumbies, because they still have a game. They could end up playing, well, the Brumbies would be a bit of a stretch, actually, looking at the maths. Although, to be fair, the Brumbies, who they got last round, I think they've got Western Force or maybe Moana Pacifica, someone along those lines. I'm not too sure off the top of my head. It might be Moana that they are playing. So it is possible for them to get a nice big boost. Ulster lost? Yeah, they did in the end. The Ulstermen just not quite able to fire there. So they have had a pretty tough couple of weeks. Lost in the URC to just narrowly miss out on the playoffs, and then also lost that final. But I mean, getting through to the final was still a pretty good kind of season as a whole, I would say, for Ulster when it comes to the Challenge Cup. But they would have liked some sort of trophy, I'm sure. In the cabinet, they had just shown Lucas Casey. He had a phenomenal game last week. Like I mentioned, Angus Gardner going to be the referee in charge of this one, with Graham Cooper as the TMO. A lot of Wallaby supporters. There's Clifford and High Island Amish. There's Robert Welcomen. And also we got the Hurricanes, Auckland FC, and the Warriors for the win. Yeah, they're all playing tonight, aren't they? Or otherwise tonight, or are they? Yeah, it was Saturday night, so yeah, they will be, I believe. The Hurricanes, they have got a 4-point lead over the Chiefs. Game in hand as well, technically, because they still have to play this one. I don't see Leinster winning. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. That is the next stream that is taking place on the channel at about 1:30 a.m. Last game's in Splash TV. So, yeah, they will want to make a bit of an impact here, the Highlanders. They come in as one of the biggest underdogs of the whole round, which is not ideal. But they'll be up for the fight here, hopefully. Yep, kicking this one off, Cam Miller. Does go just about the 15 metres. It's nicely claimed by a Safua Moore, who's definitely put his name into contention for the All Black side, although I think he was always in there, even when he was injured. A man's name was being talked about, Eritara Inari, in the starting lineup again. He had a great game last week for the Hurricanes. Nice take under the ball from Jacob Ratamaitavuki-Nepkin, still playing in that 15 jersey, back to Miller. Send it down the middle of the field. Ruben Love takes it in the 22. Straight away, it seems like both of these sides aren't afraid to go on the boot early in this contest. Ratamaitavuki-Nepkins takes the catch and he decides, you know what? Kicking it downfield is the best option, so he does so. Balin Sullivan, he decides, how about we give him one back? Another kick. Now taken there, Cam Miller outside of the 22. Guess what he did? He kicked it downfield. Back to the Hurricanes 22. Take from Ruben Love. Josh Morby, he decides he'll have a kick of the ball. What's that, about 10 in a row that was started this game with the Mothi Tavatavanawa. Surely that man doesn't kick. He never kicks. He just kicked it down the field again. Back to Ruben Love, inside of the 22. He'll run it back out, so there's no chance of this one finding touch. Natunani Punivai. It's a game of force back, but the rule is you're not allowed to kick it if you already have. Now Cam Miller, inside of the 22, kicks the ball. He doesn't find touch. He was trying to. Ruben Love will run this one back to the halfway line. We've had 90 seconds of back and forth off the boot. But now there's going to be some ball in hand and a few carries in a row for the Hurricanes. A Safua Moore tackled round halfway. Eritara Inari back across to the left-hand side. Isaiah Walker-Leowiri. Short ball to Devon Flanders. Puts the ball on the outside. This is a big chance for the Hurricanes early. Johnny Rover to Kini Naolo inside. Ball to Morby. They are lethal on the attack, the Hurricanes, and they have scored even after all the force back. But just like that, they will have to check that pass from Isaiah Walker-Leowiri, about the third last pass. They will just want to make sure. I did see, though, that Johnny Rover's in the starting lineup. I don't even know who that would be for at this stage. It might be for maybe Geordie Barrett, I would say, has been left out of this lineup. It's a man who we haven't spotted yet, but yeah, Johnny Rover passes to Kini Naolo and then Morby. It's a nice inside ball and everyone just there ready for that next pass. Let's go. The black and yellow, says Shane. And if he plays next week, do you think he'll break the record, says Gay Slade? Because is it individual for the regular season or is it individual for the whole season? Because theoretically, like, he's still got next week. And then if it is for the whole season, he's still got all the playoff games, depending on how far they go. Are we going to get Moana's last game next week? Yeah. It's going to be a brutal one for them. They were so close up against the Reds. Morby, correct, yes, did score the try. Josh Morby in that number 15 jersey for this game. 3 minutes into the game, and it is 7-0 now for the Hurricanes after the conversion was successful. And we have got the, how was your day out with your girlfriend? Well, if there was a girlfriend involved, I didn't know about her. I was out with George, Daniel, Isaac, and two of the other Kiwi lads' girlfriends were there, but I know that I not unless I forgot her, or I didn't actually know mine, but no girlfriend involved. But we did go to the rugby. It was quite the game last night between the two sides. Quite the atmosphere too. Sold out stadium in Christchurch. First try for Tossie. How about second try? Because we just seen Morby score. So maybe second one could be on the cards for Basilio Tossie here. Did you buy any hot chips and hot dogs? I did buy hot chips and chicken tenders. Hot dogs, they were $10 for the little wiener, which seemed a bit steep. Yep, running it up, Thomas Lavanini, the big Argentine. Nick Shearer getting this chance to start at 9 here for the Highlanders, but a pressure in the breakdown from Isaiah Wakaliawiri. Ball has hit the referee. It's still going to stay on the side of the Highlanders. Geordie out, yeah. It seems like Johnny Rover's coming as the number 12 for this game. Because Sullivan's still there. Natanani Punivai is there. Morby's there. I did see Kini Naholo's still out there. So, yeah, I think Geordie Barrett's the late change for the Hurricane side. Now going up high for that ball. Nicely taken. Now wait to the left-hand side. Peter Larkai. That's the ball up again. They've got so many decent loose forward options. Fihi's missing from this game. They did go with Naholo instead out on that left wing side. Probably not a bad game to rest him either. Give him a bit more of a spell before the playoffs. Tara Eneri. This one's about 35 metres out from their own line at the moment, the Hurricanes. He's rolling this one right back through 2 men, but he will go with the box kick nice and high. Down towards the sideline, well taken by Natunane Punivai under the high ball. Now left-hand side, Tara Eneri. This is where we saw the Hurricanes score themselves a try not too long ago, although Hugh Renton, the co-captain of the High... What happened there? He actually put the ball back on his team's side, and then I think someone from the Hurricanes just played it, got it straight back on the back of the ruck. And it was still on the side of the home side, the Canes. Now, Tara Eneri back across. Oh, that looked a bit high from Daniel Leonard-Brown, but the ball's gone backwards, says Angus Gardner as well. Passed on from Loaki. Now, Moore. Uh-oh. That looks like a Devon Flanders. Oh, is that Devon Flanders? Looks like he is in a real world of trouble here, Devon Flanders. He's kind of, in a weird way, his legs are out the side. The Highlanders have decided to go quick. They've got a man advantage for now. They've decided to go quickly, but this does not look good for Devon Flanders. We've got to remember that man, of course, initially considered as an AB's bolter, but he is going overseas. Oh, Lavanini flying through the middle of that breakdown. Right, referee's going to stop this game now. Getting a signal for a serious injury. Now, this is not good news for Devon Flanders here, for the Hurricanes, or for that man. It looks like he left his legs out to his side, as if maybe something to do with the back or it. Oh, he got knocked out. It did look high from Daniel Leonard-Brown at the time. He's been knocked unconscious, and he's taken a hard knock to the back of the head as well in the process. I think that one from Leonard-Brown's tackle probably needs to be checked. However, there, Lavanini still joining the Stormers next season. Perhaps Holland and Frizzell will finally make them a good team. Says Danik. I'm sure they'll be happy to have Holland back. That is 100% guaranteed. That was like a nasty knockout in terms of the way that the chin went round. And we have got there. Oh, well, that beautiful face is back. Says Pro Pleb. And where did you sit? We sat, you know, the corner that Jamie Hanna scored in? And the corner that first disallowed try was in, that was where we were, just up on the second tier. Right, they're checking to see if there is any form of foul play here. Devon Flanders is definitely going to be missing next week, because I don't find a way that he can avoid any sort of concussion from that shot. I went a bit more bold. $5 on Ruben Love to get a try. Oh, you're up in the stakes, getting a bit closer towards the playoffs. The Leonard Brown special, says Peanut Slab. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be staying out on the field for too much longer. I think this is going to be a yellow card at least. Okay, could have bent lower. Meets the yellow card threshold. And this one will be reviewed off field, but it does mean that Daniel Leonard-Brown will be off the field. And that will actually, I believe, become a penalty to the Hurricanes, due to the fact that initially it was just going to be a scrum for the Highlanders due to stop play. Because of that review, it becomes that penalty. And it does mean that the Hurricanes will have themselves the ball, but there will still be a little bit of a longer stoppage here due to Devon Flanders still being down one day. Tossie will get the first try. I can retire, says the real Ando. And when I went to Super Round, I was in section 132, row D. We might have been in row, or 131 rings a bell, but I don't actually remember where we were in terms of we were second tier, of course. Tell you what, those stands are quite steep. You wouldn't want to take your grandparents right up the top. Definitely if they've got dodgy knees, because or else, like, I'm surprised no one took a tumble. How do you think Leinster will do today? Did you see the Ulster game last night? I saw the score. I haven't seen the game itself yet, sadly. I haven't had a chance to watch it. But I hope Leinster do all right. I want to see a close game between Leinster and Bordeaux, because or else then that would be unfortunate. Up the cane, says Emery James. Saying the keys to victory for the Highlanders: slow the tempo, set piece, and frustrate the Canes' rhythm. Well, that first try was pretty rhythmic of the Hurricanes. And they were able to get that draw and pass going from the get-go. My bolter, Chaifiaki. Well, to be fair, with Tangi Tau out, with a few of the other injury situations going on, and with the fact that he can take a high ball, he might not be a mile away, Chaifiaki, although he probably would want to have a few more big games before the end of the season, I would say. for him to really be... Well, the thing is, if he has good games for the rest of the season, he might not even be considered a bolter. He might just be considered as a good option. And they're just showing that Devon Flanders break of the line initially that led to that first try. It's a nice link-up play from the Hurricanes. Warner Durns, he was sweating on the inside ball if they were willing to go one more. Duplessis Karefi, he will make his way onto the field. That is going to be for the injury of Warner Durns. Oh, sorry, not for Warner Durns, for Devon Flanders. Hurricanes have booted this ball into touch. Now Asafua more. Throws in a nice take from Isaiah Wakaliawiri. Karefi plays halfback now. Johnny Rover, that's too high again from the Highlanders. I'll learn from the mistakes there. That one from Daniel Leonard-Brown has resulted in him being off the field for another 9.5 minutes. Now Wakaliawiri, a lot of carries early on for the big lock heading to, I think, Benetton next season. It's where he's going to end up, but another penalty advantage in favour of the Hurricanes going away to the right-hand side. Balin Sullivan sold the dummy. Doesn't shift it on. All how's things? See a big rig and ouch. Hurricanes already winning. You get in the early try now. Natanani Punivai looking for the second try of the contest here. Iritara Enari. Ross to Lauakai. It sounds like advantage is still being played. Yossi with the pick and go. Protection of the ball at the moment from this Hurricanes team. Morby gets close. He's only 3 behind Fihi for the total amount of tries on the record season. Natunani Punivai driven into touch by Ratamaitavuki Netkins with some solid defence, but they'll go back for the advantage. In fact, they had a second one right next to the sideline too, so more than likely, I think they'll pick the one right next to the sideline and go into touch. Keep this one go. Oh, no, they've gone for the... That was unique. Not a quick tap, but a chip in behind to a teammate from the Hurricanes. So back underway now. 8 minutes into the contest. Passing it back across now. Moving it on. Balin Sullivan. Draw and pass out to Kini Naholo. And the Canes have another one. The score's at the moment going the way it was expected in terms of the odds. And Canes for the win, says Val. And Leicester should do all right, I reckon, go the Canes, says Tama. Might be a long night for the Highlanders, says Tama there too. And also, hi Hamish, New Zealand to win the Under-20s World Cup this year against France. Good night, brother. I'm drunk, but still logical. Canes by 46. And I dare says Big Rig. And also, I picked Geordie Barrett for my fantasy. Great call. Not particularly. I think you might get a 0 for him, but he can't get minus points if that's a bonus. I think Xavier Numia is going to get selected since Williams is injured. There really is no other loose here prop other than Ollie Norris that stands out, and Numia has been ripping it up this season. Yes, I'm of the same thought process at the moment. I'd be surprised if he misses out, although I always still early enough that things can happen in terms of suspensions, injuries. But if he can avoid both of those, I think he'll be in there, Numia. That's a good kick from Ruben Love again, about 35 out on the angle, near side of the field, and the score now sits 14-0 in favour of the Hurricanes. Keep on doing that. It's going to once again be the long night in Wellington for the Highlanders. We have got their Highlanders need to pull out plan B, C, D, and E at this point. And who do you think has a good chance of getting into the All Black squad on this Hurricanes side? I would say the loose forwards are going to be interesting. I think that Larkai, depending on what they're looking for, Larkai's a good option because of that versatility. I don't know if they'll go with Karefi, but he's probably still in a lot of people's All Black squads. It's whether or not he's in Rennie's though. That's the tricky equation at the moment. One's going to be booted into touch. I think we'll still see Asafua, Moa, Tossi, and I think we will see Numia as well. Ruben Love more than likely will be in there. Geordie Barrett will be, whether people like it or not, he'll be in Rennie's squad. I don't know if they might sneak one or two more Canes in there too. Roygaard, of course, once he returns from injury. Big run from Hugh Renton, tackled by Duplessis Karefi, who forces the handling here. And now Tossi with a bit of acceleration, but the ball dropped by Isaiah Wakaliawiri. And there is now the knock-on advantage in favour of the Highlanders. Timothy Tava Nawai. Inside of his half, does bounce it into touch. That will be advantage over. With the Hurricanes line out. 5th try for Tossi for sure. And we have they're very disappointed in Ulster. Cost my Super Brew. So here's Haino there. And good morning, Amish and Chair. Welcome in, Haino. Yeah, Ulster didn't quite show up to the party, unfortunately, for that one. I was hoping it would be a bit close, although you look through at Montpellier's squad and they've got a pretty handy unit at the moment. Safwai Moore, with the line out. I don't know about Ruben Love. I don't know about Ruben Love being in there. If he is, it'll be a bench player. Well, it depends on what their plans are with Beauden Barrett. Because if Rennie's going Barrett to the next World Cup, then you've got Barrett, you've got McKenzie, and you've got a returning Moonga later on in the year. But until Moonga comes back, you do still need someone else as, I believe, your third fly half option. So I think that's where Ruben Love does fall into the equation because of the fact he also works very nicely with Cam Roigard, as seen from the Canes. But I don't see Peter Feta getting in ahead of him. And I don't really see anyone else. Like, they might look at a really young Miller or someone along those lines, or a Jacob, but I think that Love at the moment is still that little bit ahead of them because of that versatility. Now thrown in, and it's a nice take from Mitch Dunshay. So I think that one was taken against the throw from the Highlanders. Now moving forward. That's my bet. Oh, but the thing is, when Moonga comes back, then it's the big question. Oh, that was a big shot from a Safo Moa and Tomofi Tava Nawai. Because does Rennie say straight away, chuck him back in, or does he say, you got to play a bit more rugby over here first? I pick Leicester over Larkai, to be honest. But are you picking Leicester in the backs as a potential option? Now, chipping him on. Nice take from Nareki. Offloads to Lucas Casey. This man was impressive just 7 days ago, and he is still pumping the legs. Well, I think it might have actually been 8 days, but neither here nor there. Now, short ball, Jacob Rata Matavuki Nepkins goes to Cam Miller, 5 metres out from the line, and a big chance here for the Highlanders, their best attacking chance, and one of the first times they've actually been inside of the opposition 22. Nareki went for a cross kick. Why would he want to go for that? They've lost about 15 metres because of it, as it was charged down by Larkai. Now it's still there, though, for the Highlanders yet again. And that opens up that 13 spot for who would be the big question there. I guess you've got your... Probably looking at Proctor, you're looking at, well, I guess that opens it up for Rico then. In that case, if you're looking at bringing him straight back in from his sabbatical. Or you're playing Tupai slightly out of position again as a 13, which he still does very well, to be fair to him. But I think a lot of people want to see him in that 12 for the ABs. Nice ball from Miller, but it's knocked on by Jacob Ratamatavuki Nepkins. Just play on, says the ref. Iritara Eneri puts the ball into touch. It will now be the Highlanders who have got themselves the line out. 45 metres out from their line, 15 Landers. Says Splash TV. 1 Leicester, 2 Parker, 3 Larkai, top 3 sevens in New Zealand. Uh-oh. Daniel Leonard-Brown upgraded to a red card. So upgraded to a red. Leonard-Brown will be gone for the 20 minutes, so 12 minutes remaining of that time. Took to 12 and Proctor at 13. So who's your backup 13? Oh, yeah, no, that's a big collision with Devon Flanders' jaw. 1 Leicester. Has Simon Parker played 7 much this year? I know that Jacobson's been in there a bit. Start of the season, they went with Boshier too, didn't they? So TT floats as well. He's probably in the equation somewhere for that All Black side. Leicester as your... Wait, so you got Leicester as your second 13, but you're also picking him as your 7 ahead of Larkai. But I assume you're still picking both in the squad, right? How good was the Crusaders versus Chiefs last night? It was a good game. I was very happy with it because last game that we went to, nice steal there from Loaki. I kicked him behind from Braden Yossi deciding to go with boot to ball. Jacob Ratamatavuki Nepkins. Going back with the kick of his own. But yeah, last game we went to was Highlanders Crusaders last year, and it was 15-12 as the end score. But this one was a lot higher scoring. The crowd were a lot louder too, of course, because of the new stadium. Big run here from Morby. No one's stopping him at the moment. Still going, Josh Morby passes off to Duplessis Karefi. And that is one of the best individual runs of the season from Morby. Doesn't get the credit for the try. He will get the assist, but tell you what, he's going to have to get a bit of credit for that one. Duplessis Karefi, he scores it, but Morby has just gone through about probably 5 players to be able to do that and create that chance. Duplessis Karefi's popped his shoulder out by the looks of it, but injured here, 3rd try of the season. They don't want to lose another loose forward, definitely after the Flanders one earlier on. We're going to see it here. So he steps round Nariki, gets through Renton, gets through another player who I can't quite work out who it was. I think he got through Tito Harris too. And then the ball on the inside after another attempt from Nariki that ends in Karefi managing to score it. And Leicester as a hybrid, says Splash TV, and anyone excited for the July international games, says Bokang. I think they're starting to get a little bit of hype around as the squads start to get closer to being announced. I think at the moment Fiji have announced their July side, or at least their extended squad. That one's going to go over from Ruben Love, though. He is 3 from 3 today. And that is going to make the score 21 points to 0. Morby knows he needs to make up for my Geordie pick on fantasy. Good man. Larko comes on. Leicester moves to 13. Doing that allows more options in the back line on the bench. And England versus South Africa will be fun. Yeah, there's a few goodies happening throughout July. England versus South Africa. You've got New Zealand, Ireland at Eden Park. There's a bit of a tasty one for the Kiwis. What else we got? Australia, Ireland's always good. Those are normally good games. How the hell is that red? There have been way worse tackles that have been red, just yellow. Or that have been just yellow. Yeah, we've had inconsistency, unfortunately. But I think Flanders being completely knocked unconscious probably helped them decide that there was a bit of force behind it. All going up for the ball. That one's going to be knocked on by Xavier. Tito Harris, good pick up from Larko, who's then smashed in the tackle by Seo Lamau. Now, good hands from Love. Away to the right-hand side. Sullivan moves it on to Natanani Punivai, trying to bump off Casey, who could also be in the equation of a bolter. Now, Editara Inari. Oh, that was a bit late. On Tossi now, breaking through Johnny Rover. Offload to Morby, who's just racking up the running meters at the moment. He drawing past with the crowd there. That one's gone behind his winger. It will now be the line out for the Highlanders. Why doesn't the whole world just come together and make competition? France, England, South Africa, Wales, Ireland, Scotland, etc. It would benefit us all. It's kind of called the World Cup, isn't it? But it's also the new Nations Championship. That's what they've kind of marketed that as, how it's North versus South per se, and then you have the finals at the end. And then, you can still play, of course, sides from the North will go head-to-head in those playoffs. Sides from the South will go head-to-head in those playoffs as well. Now, Kenny Naholo taking that ball around the halfway line. Now, Balin Sullivan, big push off there. Tamofi Tavanawai finishes the tackle. Jonah Lowe's actually gone off the field here relatively early, which gives a lot of minutes here for Grindley off the bench. For the club competition. Well, we got that in 2028, a little teaser of it. Now, hopefully, if it goes well, they'll extend the competition and they'll add a few more sides. There's another knock on. The breakdown from the Hurricanes. Only 18 minutes through at the moment. The ref is definitely against him in this game. Very inconsistent. Absolutely needs jail time because he is stealing the game. Says Anna. Larko is very good. I'm not even a Hurricanes fan, and I hope he's at least in the All Black squad. Check his form on the end of the year tour. Off the bench against England, says Heptagonal Ghost. Yeah, here's a guy that he stood out in the under-20s as well. So he's got that almost big match temperament to him. He seems very, he's very mature. And as an inexperienced player, he seems experienced, if that makes sense. He seems like he doesn't get rattled by the game. Oh, Renton's now off for De Groot. That is due to that Daniel Leonard-Brown change that has to be made. Just looking through, how did old Daniel Leonard-Brown end up on the field anyway? So Ethan De Groot's back out there now. Did he get blood binned or a head knock or something, Ethan Groot? How did Daniel Leonard-Brown find his way onto the field? He was 17 initially. And I think De Groot has a number 1 on his back, or I could be wrong. Maybe they just switched them last minute. Now that looks like a 17. Okay, they must have switched them last minute. And yay, De Groot, and that is a penalty now going the way of the Canes. Imagine for Europe, or if Europe made their own Super Rugby with the South African teams. And there was no Europe. Oh, no, I read that one. There was no such thing as forward pass, only rugby. Oh, no, only momentum passes. Oh, that ball hasn't gone into touch. So the ball will be forced by Xavier Tito Harris, and it is a goal line dropout. Great to hear Balin Sullivan playing tonight. Go the Canes, says John. And we have got there, I reckon Larkai was playing in the under-20s. They were getting absolutely dominated in every way. Larkai was the one in the front lines. That guy was just built for test level, says Tanner. Yeah. The composure. I think that's something that, in a big match, sometimes, here he goes again, Larkai, please don't get injured just because we've praised you so much in this game. It always happens as well. We say he's a bolter, and then next week, he's out. But he's all right for now, Larkai. Like they're saying, Karefi seems like he has recovered from that shoulder injury from scoring. Basilio Tossi, again up the middle of the field. That's a stat and a half. 208 metres gained here for the Hurricanes, 26 for the Highlanders. We have there, someone said you threatened them on the channel. They said on Vic channel, they said you're going to block them. Read it. Says Mohuddin that I threatened them. That's an interesting one. What's their name? Is it Kiwi Rob? I know Kiwi Rob's... He's not blocked though, I don't think. He just disappeared a while ago. Currently, we have got the stoppage due to another knock on there. All that's copycat hybrid, says Splash TV. I hope you're not referring to Leicester Whainanuku playing 7 like we've seen from Andre Esterhuizen, because if that's the case, then you've got to call South Africans copycats of Lavani Botia, of the Fijians. Then you've got to call Lavani Botia copycat of the old school days when we used to see the occasional hybrid coming out. So, I hope it's not that you're saying that South Africa with Andre Esterhuizen were the first to ever do it, because that man, Lavani Botia, has been kicking everyone's backsides going from backs to forwards throughout the last decade. That one's going to be kicked down the middle of the field. There's a bit too much juice on that one from Nariki. The ball's bouncing awkwardly, and it actually goes dead. Just kept on rolling. Is it Jordan, says Tanner? It could be. I don't know if he's been threatened either, to be fair. This competition will not survive, says Yandri. Hello, Yandri. You don't like Super Rugby, do you, Yandri? I've noticed. I didn't get too much of a chance to catch the Pro D2 this week, but I did watch a little bit of Top 14. I was doing my homework of the French games. We have got there Ben Earl as a hybrid. Says Demon the 11th. And UBB by 12, or should I say more? Hard to say. Depends on what Leinster size show up for that contest. Thank you, Hamish. In the end of they all copy New Zealand rugby, says Sock. But I feel like the thing is, imitation is the greatest form of flattery. And people get so upset at the idea, most things in the world are copied. I'm not the first person on YouTube to ever do a live stream based off a game that's taken place. But people don't say, you're just copying someone else who's done live streams for 10 years or anything like that. It's like everything has a little bit of a copy to it, and then every once in a while some smart person will come up with a brand new thing that then gets copied 50,000 times by other people. But yeah, any sort of slight imitation should be taken as that was a good idea, so someone else wants to do it. And we have got there, did the Springboks under 20s 90? Yeah, no, they did wipe the floor with the old Chileans, unfortunately. It did not go well for Chile in that contest. Ball still on the side of the Hurricanes, looking for the cross kick here. Ruben Love kicks it in behind, but it's gone out on the full, bit too much on that one too. That one going to be put into touch. 1 second, we will go like that. We will go like that as well. You are so wise. Right, I don't know about that. I'm also very, very thick in other ways. I was about to say in other ways, but that doesn't sound right. But yeah, I also get lost very easily though. So I'm not that smart because I can get lost in a 1x1 square. We have there. It's not as good without. I assume that's without the South Africans. I loved it, but something is missing. Huge mismatch. Here's Yandre. Yeah, although the top 6 is still close enough. Up until this round, we had 10 sides that could have made it into the playoffs. Oh, big dropping tackle from a Safwa Moore there. Looked a bit high on De Groot again. We have you there. This is the Ruben Love I can't stand. He just starts screwing around when the game is in hand. Nice take under the high ball and the halfway line from Ruben Love. But yeah, they have got a little bit almost reckless on attack here, the Hurricanes at the moment. Josh Morby going away to the left-hand side. Now Duplessis Krefi, big fend from Balin Sullivan. Under 20 bet them 97-0. Says cross-boarding. Bordeaux to win. Bordeaux are going to be hard to beat. But I'm excited for the matchup just because two great sides going into this. Ball might stay in for Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins. The ball is just going to stay in. I think he might have got it down, although Ruben Love thinks he got it. The try is scored, they have said. Ruben Love was claiming it. But I think Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins may have got that hand down first. He is fourth of the season, although, of course, they will have to make sure that this one has actually happened. But it was the pass that went through the hands of Johnny Rover. A good call on the rotation by Clark Laidlaw. Another demolishing Canes for the win. Says Val there. Oh, Love's hand's a little bit closer to that than that first angle made it look, I would say. Oh, no, Ruben Love missed it. His hand actually went past the ball, but he was trying to slap it dead, which actually would have resulted in probably a penalty try yellow card for Ruben Love, because you're not actually supposed to do that in Union. You can do it in league every day of the week, but Union gets you in a little bit of trouble. Can you do Springboks versus Fiji Tuesday? Please, sadly not. They aren't actually showing any of those games here in New Zealand. Not that I was able to find anyway. I did look for the Chilean one for a little while, but it wasn't on any broadcaster. That one's a good kick from Cam Miller. The ball has gone over, and they are just about to get back to 15 men on the field here, the Highlanders. And it is 21 points to the 7. Yeah, Love actually went right underneath that ball trying to smack it dead. We have got there, it's always Rover. Says Freshman. We have got there, hi Hamish, great game last night. If Seesaw, loved the game. What do you think of the game last night? Yeah, it was a good one. It was one of those ones that luckily, you know, there was a bit of drama, which was great. And you always like to see a close game. We have got there, Ruben is a good player. Says G Unit. And we have got there, as in like boxing, Martin, I assume is what you're referring to there. Around the halfway line, 26 minutes in. Now Love across to Kini Naholo. Came back from his injury and already has made a bit of an impact. He actually came back and scored 2 tries within about 3 minutes, I believe it was. Now, nice run from Yossi, close to the sideline, just manages to stay in the field of play, but Timothy Tavanawai has managed to get a crucial turnover for the Highlanders. After they've managed to score their most recent try, it seems like they've got a little bit more momentum in their favour. Jonah Nariki kicks it downfield off the left boot. Don't play with your food, Canes. See, here's Shane there. Kick downfield once more, nicely taken. Cam Miller. One's going to go in behind. Awkward bouncing ball. That's how it started, Hamish, says Martin. Now Kini Naholo on the halfway line again. Up the Kuzwaz, says the real Ando. Now Love to Warner Dearns. That's a name that we haven't said so far throughout this game. He could have had the first try, but Morby did have a clean line to the try line. Well, other than that, I haven't seen Big Warner. Did he threaten someone? Not that I know of. What was the person's name? Now, nice run from Yossi. That's a good bit of hands from Kini Naholo. Bit of a weird slow motion situation there. Now going off to the right, Zaya Walker, Leo Wiri. Now Warner Dearns stepping around. Moving up to the 22. Highlanders needed that try. It was looking like a desperate mountain rescue operation in the high winds, says Mark. And 4-0 tour incoming, says Splash TV. I missed it the first time, didn't I? So you decided to put it again. And we have got the Are you from Otara? No, I am not. I don't think I've ever been to Otara either. Hurricanes then and the Highlanders back into this game. Iritara Inari now. Back across. Nice step from Ruben Love. He goes on the inside around the defence. And it is the try for the Hurricanes. And Love does very nicely there. Get his side back into a 3-try lead. That is a bonus point. At the moment, the way that it sits, of course, that can change in an instant. But it was the stepping from Ruben Love there. Just to be able to sneak their way through. And it is very nicely done indeed. Are we over there? You look like an Otarian, says Jarrett. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? You had to say it, didn't you? Says Big Rig. Yeah, that is very nicely done. The footwork from Ruben Love. And we have got there my Canes for the win and my Queensland team to win again, says Val. There's a 50% chance that Hamish is 100% Fijian. That kick has gone over, and it is now 28 points to the 7. This is a high scoring first half. We've only had 29 minutes at the moment between these two sides. 1 second, we'll go like that. And like that as well. Oh, okay. Siale Luaki. Sounds like they're going to make a change here, the Hurricanes. Renton is on. That is for Daniel Leonard-Brown. Are you an Islander ham? I am not. No. That one's going to be kicked downfield. Nice take from Johnny Rover. That is a beautiful step there from him, Peter Lakai. And New Zealand isn't. Well, I guess that's true. Technically, everywhere's an island, isn't it, when you think about it? There's just bigger islands and smaller islands. Eritara Enari going back across to the right-hand side. So 9 minutes left in this first half. Have you missed me, Ham, says Jared. Were you here last week, weren't you? Now down to the halfway line. That's another good take from Cam Miller, Jonah Nariki. That's a good steal from Balin. Oh, referee almost put the whistle to the mouth there, but didn't quite blow it. Now Renton, across to Jacob Rata, Maitavuki Nepkins. Ollie Norris and Tossif were actually a really good duo. Norris' speed and mobility complements Tossi's big power game. And it is a combo that we could technically see again later when you free. We've got a game later on, if that's what you're referring to, the Champions Cup game, Bordeaux versus Leinster. Nice take there again from Cam Miller. That one's going to be kicked high and down the field once more. Eritara Enari. Off to Ruben Love, quick hands. Johnny Rover goes to Kini Naholo, trying to go on the outside of Timothy Tavatavanawa. Now tackled on the halfway line from Yossi. I come back, Kiwi Rob is forgiven, says Simon. This is going to be a bit like the Saints versus Bristol game. It could be. I think it will be about half the amount of points, though. Now, Enari. Oh, bounce pass there to Ruben Love. A soft one more. Now knocked on there. And that's going to be the knock on. Are we over there? This could be like... Oh, no, I read that one, didn't I? Pretty sure you are from Atara. Where is Atara? Is Atara North or South Island? Oh, that's not how you spell it. In Manukau. I've never been to Manukau. Not that I know of, anyway. From what I was told, I was born in Christchurch. We have there, if you had to choose, would you go fried chicken or fried lamb? Says Xander. And we have there 28-7 and only 30 minutes in, another 10 points. Or sorry, another 10 minutes. Stack on more points, why not, says Val. Yeah, they might as well just go caution to the win and just keep on going. Because if they get a bonus point win here, like, no matter what, they're good. They only really need 2 points from this game. But the more tries that they score, the better off they'll be in terms of form heading into that game up against the Crusaders. So, yeah, I do like their chances if they just keep on pedal to the metal. Now, going across here, Nick Shearer moves it on to Jonah Nariki. Grub it in behind. Awkward bouncing ball, nicely taken by Josh Morby. We have there 42-10 says Splash TV. And that is another penalty going the way this time of the Highlanders. 3 converted tries down at the moment. I think that here would be a smart play just to go towards that corner. Push on that little bit further. What did you do after the game yesterday, says Mohadeen? So luckily we were staying very close to the stadium. So we walked back, which was like a 3-minute walk or so. And then from there, what did we do straight after? I think we went into town first. We went to it was an underground club, and it was a really weird place because it was just a little box, like a little room. Like, it wasn't a nightclub or anything. It was just a little warm room under a building. And then from there we went to the casino, which was a bigger room above ground. Did the kick go over? Yeah, they've actually had a really good day off the kicking tee for these two sides, although they didn't take on the 3 there. Instead, they have called for the scrum. It is a good, solid scrum there from the Highlanders, who managed to win themselves the penalty advantage, just 5 metres out from the line. Now ball on the outside, drop ball. Jonanariki goes for the cross kick. It's in behind. Waiting for the bounce of the ball was Morby. I'll go back now for the penalty advantage. You must change the score. One moment. We'll shake the mouse and it should help it. There we go. See Ronda Rousey, 80-second fight. Yeah, that was fast, wasn't it? That whole fight card was quick. We saw Ngannou, he won quickly. We saw Dos Santos lost within, I think it was a round, wasn't it? Diaz was always going to get cut open, unfortunately, because of his scar tissue. So that one was never going more than 2 rounds. And then there was one more that I can't quite think of off the top of my head that also was a first round fight. We have it there, Queensland for the whitewash. Canes to win in 2026. And also we have there, I think they should give Ruben a rest next week, says NZ Riot. It may not be a terrible idea. And if they've managed to get themselves like the bonus point already, in terms of, or they've got that number 1 seed, I should say already, like that is where you can save a few players. But they've also got the week in hand, because theoretically if they lose their playoff game, they would be the lucky loser, seeing as they're the top qualifier. So it's a tricky one to decide. Did you have KFC? No, we never actually stepped in the establishment of KFC, believe it or not. I had a lot of chicken, but never from KFC on the trip. Now, once on the side of the Highlanders, though, they are 15 metres out from the line. They will do a catch the kernel more than likely at halftime with all the KFC sponsorship billboards in the background. Now offload a Safua Moore goes to Larkai. About 3-on-1 on the outside here, but Karefi tries to take the contact with Bell and gets wrestled down. Now Larkai flicks it out the back door. I know that time it was Johnny Rover to Larkai. Now Poldi Dakiti Stones, about 4 men on the outside of him. Eritara Inere shifts it on quickly. It seems like the Highlanders scramble defence. Just having a few gaps put in it at the moment. Warner Durns. Oh, Morby's acted like he is a seal and balanced that ball on his nose for a second there. It is a knock on. No, it's not back, says the ref. So will we play on? I've thought about doing a stream for a UFC card multiple times. We've been almost, like I've been as far as I've made multiple thumbnails thinking about doing them and then never end up doing them. So very close to doing one. Now go on left-hand side. Moving away to Lucas Casey here. Are you going to do Cricket World Cup streams right? Going to do the cricket. As in like the Women's Cricket World Cup? Maybe. It's getting to that stage now. Of course, a lot more fixtures are getting announced in terms of when they are taking place for the men's international rugby and all playoff games as well. So we'll just have to see a little bit. You know, on the Sevens Friday, yep, there'll be a little bit of sevens. Right, there is a dangerous tackle being made on the Hurricanes. So with 2 minutes 30 remaining in this first half, 21 points difference still between these two teams. 103 matches for Karefi. I assume the Cricket World Cup is very soon, right? The Women's Cricket World Cup is next month, I want to say. Taking place throughout June, actually same as the Under-20s Rugby World Cup. Now, Cam Millett. Send this ball into touch. It was actually a high tackle from the Hurricanes. I said it was up against the Highlanders, but it was by the Hurricanes, the high shot. 2 minutes now remain in the half. If the Hurricanes concede now, 7 points for the Highlanders, you're looking at 2 tries difference between the teams in the second half. That's not impossible to catch up, I don't think. So definitely the easiest way of getting back into this contest. Hamish, can you braai? I've never had a braai. I've had a barbecue, but I haven't had a braai. It's still something on the to-do list. Going off to Tava Nawai, Narata Maitavuki, Nepkins goes in behind to Xavier Tito Harris, bouncing the ball nicely, taken by Morby, who is going to take it back into his in-goal area. It will now be the 5-metre scrum for the Highlanders. And we have got there, he is back, his Undertaker still there, says Xander. Now all the names of the different moves and holds in the UFC, not all of them. I know like the basic like terminology, but I'm definitely not a high-level grappler in terms of like some of those transitions that they have. About 50 seconds remain in this first half. And the scrum, 5 metres out from the line last time, was actually won by this Highlanders side. So they may be able to push over. Undertaker don't wrestle, but he runs the Mexican wrestling company Triple A, which is owned by WWE, says Big Rick, who's just starting team for South Africa. It depends on who they're playing. Who are you saying they're up against? Because I think that actually heavily depends on who you go with. If you want a little bit more of an open plan, you probably go with Sasha, but more of a running-orientated tactical game. If you're, nice run from Tava Nawai. That man runs through defenders for fun. And he's got through. And it looks like the Karifi shoulder is still giving him a little bit of grief here. It's going to be the second try. If you're looking for more, I would say, composure and also more of a kicking-orientated performance and tactical game, you're probably looking more at Pollard. And then Rassi may still be looking at a Lebok in there somewhere, depending on what he wants from his fly half. But nice run from Tava Nawai. Getting through Duplessis Karifi. Great commentary, says Tamlin. Thank you very much. And maybe Mexico would be better at rugby if they all wore lucha masks. And my internet is really playing up tonight, says Pro Play. But I think mine was before. I was glitching a little bit. Gains us so much. Our benchmark team in New Zealand. But watch for the red and blacks, says Robert. And they've come right at the right time, haven't they? The Crusaders. If they manage to beat the Hurricanes next week and the Blues lose to the Chiefs, theoretically the Crusaders could actually end up with a home field advantage for the playoffs. But a great kick from Miller does go over. And it's going to make the score now 28 points to 14 in favour of the Canes. Are you doing Soccer World Cup? Maybe. That's once again dependent on what's all happening. Is ball grab also illegal? Yes. You're not allowed to grab the testicles. You're not allowed to rake the eyes. You're not allowed to even grab the fence. So if you're not allowed to grab the fence, surely you'd think that anything below the belt shouldn't be grabbed either, other than the legs, of course. You get to a certain point of the leg and then you're allowed to go below it, but definitely not the old midsection. Whereas URC semi-final and final depends on who wins the games. But the quarterfinals, we do get to see the Glasgow Warriors host, the Bulls host, the Stormers host, and then also it is Leinster hosting. So those are the 4 sides hosting overall. So we'll go like this. We will go like that as well. Auckland FC playing soon. Oh, have they not kicked off yet? I thought that they actually already started, but it must be an 8 p.m. kickoff, is it, due to the... it is normally 8, isn't it? When is the semi-final and the final? So this next weekend, so not this weekend we've got Champions Cup and Challenge Cup finals. Next weekend, you've got the URC quarterfinals. Weekend after that, semi-finals. Weekend after that, final. Also on the same weekend as South Africa playing the Barbarians. So it's hopefully not going to overlap, or else that would be a very big mistake from the schedulers. But yeah, hopefully, if it all goes well, there shouldn't be overlaps. And then it's pretty much straight into international rugby at the end of the URC, the end of Super Rugby, the end of the Premiership, and also top 14, I think it's the week after. Or they may have actually brought it back so that it is the same week as the others. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of an interesting one. See how it does go, ladies and gentlemen. Do let me know, of course, your full-time score predictions for this game. And we'll go like that. And we'll go like that. But second half, they are considered as big underdogs. But the halftime score being separated by 14 rather than 21 puts them back in the equation. I would always have Pollard on my bench. He's calm. We'll kick those clutch kicks at the end. Says Fleshin. Yeah, see, he's one of those players that, international-wise, I don't know what his actual percentage is, but it seems, as of late, to be at least that 90, doesn't it? So anything inside of the opposition half, Pollard should be able to give you the 3. Tell you what, today's been a good kicking day for these guys. Cam Miller's sitting 2 from 2. Ruben Love's sitting 4 from 4. Hurricanes 47, Highlanders 26. Says Big Rig. And 48-28, Hurricanes full time, says Xander. A lot of players won't be playing for a URC final because of the Springboks, says Mohadeen. I think it's the opposite. I think a lot of players won't be playing for the Springboks because of the URC final. I'd like to think that if a South African side made it through to a URC final, that Russie wouldn't go, you guys have to stop playing for your club to represent us in a friendly match up against the Barbars before the international season. Because that would not be good if that was the way that it worked out. But hopefully it does run smoothly. Like I said, if those two games overlap, well, even you've got Zimbabwe versus South Africa A taking place beforehand, I would say that will overlap with the URC final. Pollard is a serial heartbreaker. See his flesh in there. He's had a lot of clutch kicks throughout his career. They actually said there something that I completely forgot, which was that rare card that they had throughout the first half, the Highlanders. It was Daniel Leonard-Brown got himself rare carded for the 20 minutes. It probably should have taken them completely out of this game well and truly, but they've still been creating enough chances on attack to just have half a crack of being able to get something going. But are Sharks players available? Sharks players will be, yeah, because they aren't in the playoffs. So even aside, for instance, if we see a team make it to the semi-finals from the South African side of things, they may actually rest those guys anyway, depending on, like, we've got to remember, they'll have a pretty good size squad because that'll be the extended squad before the actual squad of July. According to everyone, Russie is in all our heads, says Xander. I'm an old man, but it feels weird to me when people get a card for being idiots and then just come back onto the pitch. Well, as in like a yellow card or a red? Because for a 20-minute red, you don't get to return. As the player who does the red card offence, you don't get to return. You have to stay off the field for the whole game. But you are allowed to replace them. So the likes of Daniel Leonard-Brown here, he doesn't get to come back because of that red card. He will have to sit and watch the rest of this game from the sideline and probably watch it from the sideline for the next couple of weeks if they end up giving him a suspension. We've got Keynes from Linus Tube. Seemed to make sense. Says Big Rig. And there as well. But so far throughout this contest, we've seen a great half from Josh Morby. Some very busy moments throughout the earlier stages of the contest. 4 tries in total for the Hurricanes. He has been involved in almost all of them. Morby having the 6 defenders beaten so far. But should be down to 14. Says Big Rig Joe. Is Ruben Love the next All Blacks 10? Yes, says 100% at the moment, although I think they normally put it up as soon as they get 1 vote. That might change a little bit as it moves on. We have got their problem with permanent reds. The game's to one-sided. The thing is, though, if you don't want a permanent red, don't do something that's punishable of a permanent red. Is the easiest way of putting it. Like, yes, mistakes do happen, and every once in a while, you know, sometimes it seems like a card is pretty harsh, but, like, if it's something, for instance, like if you hit a guy in the head, knock him unconscious, like whether or not Daniel Leonard-Brown's one, some people said that it was harsh, but it's still, you know, if you knock a bloke out with a shot that you should have been lower, you have to accept what type of punishment you get. Because you can't really, like, be surprised at a decision. Because if you're tackling high, you're just pretty much risking whether or not the referee's feeling aggressive or whether they're being slightly lenient, aren't you? Come back on, says Highlanders fan, you're only down by 2 converted tries at the moment. Don't do anything on the rugby pitch that you want to do to your brother, says Big Rick. Josh Morby reminds me of Andre Taylor, Says Demon the 11th. I'm so happy to the time I raised my bet, Ruben Love pulls through, but don't always raise your bet, Pro Player, because that's how you lose the money that you just made of Ruben Love scoring. Can't wait for Solomon to come on, says Highlanders fan. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much time they give Stanley Solomon near the end of the game. Because they already brought Grinley on, didn't they? That was for the injury of Jonah Lowe. And we have got the hashtag justice for Eben. And the difference has had less impact this season, says Tama. Yeah, if anything, sometimes the sides with less players out there seem to be more fired up after receiving their cards. Richie Mo'unga will be the 10 at the World Cup with Ruben Love on the subs, says Demon the 11th. Yeah, there's an equation at the moment, which is there's probably 4 10s that could be arguably playing in that World Cup. Maybe you could even say 5 or 6. But the big decision is going to be with Rennie and Graham Henry in terms of who they want to go with as their few. You're right, it felt like a risky bet though on Ruben. Says Pro Pleb. And I hope we give Angus another season. The scrum is doing good, says Highlanders fan. Yeah, I don't actually know what Angus Ta'aval's big plans are for teams-wise, because he's been at the Chiefs, he's been at the Blues, he's been at the Highlanders. Has he been at the Canes? I don't think he's been at the Canes. He hasn't been at the Crusaders either that I can think of. So, maybe he's trying to do the clean sweep of all the New Zealand sides. Just showing there, at the moment, the Hurricanes are still expected to win by a big margin. But we're waiting to see whether or not that does become a reality. We have got I want Richie to start, and Love on the bench for the World Cup. Ruben a 50-50 player. Little bit, although he's found a bit more consistency, I would say, this year. And I think that if he can mitigate those mistakes that he was making throughout the recent years, like I would say this game, yes, there's been a couple moments where he's just gone and kicked the ball away, but he has also had some very strong attacking chances that he's been able to create. So, you mitigate those errors and you can be a very handy player. He's got the vision. He's got the speed off the mark. How good is Tavo Media? Well, he did a little bit of it for Sky Sports when he had his neck injury, didn't he, too? He's a good talker. Angus Ta'aval. Who's your number 10 for the World Cup, sir? I haven't decided yet, to be honest. I want to see Mo'unga play in an All Blacks jersey before that World Cup to see where he's at. I want to see whether or not Beauden Barrett has one more season in him for the ABs, because at the moment I don't know if, based off Super Rugby form, whether or not that man does get anywhere near a starting jersey. I want to see whether or not McKenzie continues to develop over the next about 15 months. And then whether or not a guy like Ruben Love can keep on getting better and better. Ruben Love is okay on a better team. Says the real Ando. We're going to Spa soon. Says Bruce. I quite enjoy a supermarket visit though, Bruce. That's something to get excited about, other than the fact that it will cost you money, of course. But outside of that, it's a good old time. 1 second, we'll go like that. And like that as well. But we've already seen a couple of chances for this Highlander side to start to build up their comeback. They did score right at the end of the first half. Paul McKenzie gets dumped by AB's fans. Every possible chance, says Fleshin. Yeah, whereas, based off what he's done throughout the last... of course, he's been phenomenal for the Chiefs. He puts on that All Blacks jersey and all of a sudden people just seem to not like him anymore. But, he was a real good impact player last year off of the bench for Damian McKenzie. He was coming on to games and really changing them up, and he actually played that bench impact almost perfectly at times throughout last year. I just don't see D-Max step up for the ABs. Mo'unga will be there for the ABs again, says Tama. And also Bowden is done. Time to move on from him, and first reverse fly half will be Josh Jacob. So he has Demon the 11th. I think New Zealand will win both. They'll be hard-hitting games, says Big Rig, for the All Blacks playing France and up against Ireland. All right, D-Mac says a real Ando. I do think that had he played, of course this is all just a guess, because had he played in that game up against the Crusaders, I feel like there were going to be some maybe better decisions made at times for the Chiefs. They still look really dangerous on attack, but you could tell that they were slightly missing McKenzie. Why does that huge buffoon guy have a TV presenting job? He makes anyone standing next to him look comically small. Has a stupid droning voice. I assume you're talking about old Joey Wheeler, is it? Joey Wheeler, is that who you're talking about? They do enjoy him, though. He just randomly pops out into the crowd. Just for fun. Jacob could be there next year when he starts for Landers all year. I don't think Moonga deserves 3 bites at the cherry. See him bad to the bone. What about if he plays a good NPC season and plays well in Super Rugby next year, bad to the bone? Do you stick him back in there if he does that? Or are you saying, like, you already feel he's had his chances no matter what form he can find, like, over the next 12 months? Anyone know that huge TV, Sky TV presenter's name? I assume it's Joey Wheeler. More than likely. And cheese and whey and sauerkraut. And also we go over there, mountains of stale bread. T-Mac like chiseling Colby, but fans want him at 15, or 10 and 15. I enjoy his speed at wing, says Xander. Oh, Moonga is stale bread. I was wondering what, like, I thought there was some sort of, like, mountains of stale bread. I thought that was, like, a recipe thing, how, like, I don't know how you do it. You maybe put the bread in a triangle and bake it till it's hard or something. As an outsider, I hope you do dump McKenzie. Same as I hope the Box don't pick Pollard, says Fleshin. Hope Tungy Towell makes the World Cup squad next year, says Highlanders fan. Yeah, massive shame about his injury. Caleb Tungy Towell, he did say on his Instagram that his season's over. He probably was in the equation for a bolter, I would say, which is, I want to say, like the 10th guy that's been ruled out due to either injury or ruled out due to going overseas. To another side, Flanders was another guy who got thrown in there as a potential bolter. Fihi Finian Norfo earlier on in the season before it was announced that he's going overseas. Now, second half of this one, I would say it's very close. Felt like a long halftime break for these two sides. It's the Super round, or the Super Kids round, I should say. 40 minutes now remain. 14 points separating these two sides as well. 28 points to 14 in Wellington. Geordie Barrett, Tyrell Lomax watching on. Oh, also that was a Brett Cameron to the right. Of course, he ended up with that season-ending knee injury earlier on in the year. I'm figuring that the Hurricanes have little desire to chase the bonus point win after the Chiefs lost to the Crusaders. Says NZ Riot. Right, they've made a few changes. Grinley's playing as 11. De Groot's on, Taylor's on, and Ta'aval's on. Okay, so they actually made a late switch as well with Henry Bell, I assume, started the game rather than Jack Taylor. I've probably said Taylor a few times already. And Rakiti Stones is on for Lauakai and also Karifi on for Flanders. He's going to continue in this game, Karifi, even though it seemed like he had a bit of a shoulder injury. Got 40 minutes now remaining. This contest, Ruben Love. He kicks this one off. Now it goes up. Oh, that's a hard landing for Dunshay. Taken in the air, so it will be penalty against the Hurricanes. I put $1 on Warner Dunes to get a try in the second half. Unlikely, but you never know, says Pro Pleb. And Smash him have next week off, says Shane. Well, yeah, if the Hurricanes win this game, they are happy as can be, because they will be in a scenario where no matter what happens next week, they have guaranteed home playoff, and if they win all the way, guaranteed to be able to get themselves the home final too. If you have an FA license now, amateur hunter, you know in your heart you envy us, hence all the networking and manipulation you'll never be. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Can you, like, dumb it down for us who have, like, no general knowledge? Like, can you simplify it, please? We're over there because the Hurricanes are likely to stay top of the table now. Aussie first, second half try. Okay. Is this going to be a yellow card? Yes, it is. Yellow card for the Hurricanes right at the start of the second half for Natunani Punivai. Maybe TK Howden would be a better pick than Simon Parker. Says 10-2. If I was a Bok fan, I would want him to start, but he's a bit inconsistent at the moment, says Fleshin. So yeah, Natunani Punivai. I don't see this one getting upgraded to a red. Punchay did land hard on his back, though, and they are just checking out the neck here. Seems like he's... Is he all right? Didn't seem like he was all there, Mitchell Dunshea, just in that moment. They only just come back out. Yeah, and it certainly adds a little bit of an interest into the first 10 minutes of the second half. And these cards suck. So here's bad to the bone. Halftime report for the Hurricanes with set-piece accuracy and intensity needs to go up. Keep the width on attack. Josh Morby to the ABs. What do we reckon, Hamish? I'd say he's definitely putting his name in the hat at the moment. I don't know where they'll play him, though. Where do you play him? Do you play him out on the wing? Do you try and squeeze him as a fullback? I don't know where you put him. He's a good enough player that he'd probably go all right, but I don't know where you put him for now. Oh, short ball to the Mofe. Tava Nawai. That's going to be knocked on. Now Karifi goes across to Morby. Tackle around the halfway line. I'll suffer one more. Going away to the left-hand side. Big run from Balin Sullivan. JD Vandermersh needs to be in the squad. The big boy, 140 kgs, don't get enough respect. Says Tanner too. Iritara Inari. Back across to the right-hand side. Short ball from Peter Lakai. Goes to Durns. Now Inari again. Moving it on to the outside. Nice run from Ruben Love. Now Karefi. That's going to be knocked on by Xavier Tito Harris. And it becomes a penalty. They've called it as deliberate. Double blow of the whistle here. Surely this isn't a yellow as well, is it? Other the Springboks, of course, not us, says Tanner too. All right, they're potentially looking at a yellow card for a deliberate knockdown here. All right, they want to check to see if there is the line break chance. Although everyone says Annie. AB's underdogs will upset the box, says Tama. Okay, there was a cover defender in Cam Miller, but it's for a line break, not a try-scoring opportunity. So that's where it gets a little bit technical in terms of the wording. They're at yellow. So now both sides. We've had 100 seconds of the second half. We've had 2 yellow cards. And both sides are now playing with 14. So that's interesting to say the very least. Natonani Punivai, he is off. And so is Xavier Tito Harris. So the 14s now have not stayed on the field. These cards are making a mockery of the game. So here's bad to the bone and silly players or silly ref. Well, the thing is, the players know the laws. Well, at least I like to think they do. Xavier Tito Harris was trying to whisper to Natonani Punivai. Punivai was turning away from him. Knowing we're supposed to be on opposite teams, not buddies. Safwa Moore throws it in. Nice take from Durns at line out time again. Way to the right to Kenina Holo. Iritara Inari moves it on again. Big collision there with Peter Lakai. Now moves across once more. Karefi pumping the legs. Now Karefi in behind again. Moves it on to Balin Sullivan. You get a card, you get a card, and you get a card. Everyone gets a card. Says Jasmine off to Johnny Rover with the beautiful offload to Kenny Naholo, who breaks down the wing. And they score again early in the half, the Hurricanes. Get into the lead by just that little bit more. And that is the bonus point back in their equation just for now. I bet most players don't even know the laws, says Flesham. Well, there's so many of them. You have to do like a full-on study course to be able to work out every intricate little thing that happens in terms of that rugby law book. We have got there wants to turn the game into a game of sevens. There's Big Rig. Yeah, nice offload on the outside. That was probably what really created the space. The Johnny Rover nice offload into the hands of Kenny Naholo, who in a one-on-one down the wing, you're always going to think got a pretty handy chance of getting over. Ruben Love. Again, is going to be lining up the shot at the post. And it's going to sneak over. Well, in fact, no, not even sneak. It was down the middle for Ruben Love, and that is going to make the score 33-14. No one can miss in this game, it would seem, when it comes to the kicking at the post. We are 7 from 7 today between the two kickers, Love and Miller. And the yellow card is going to remain a yellow card for Natunani Punevai. Of course, the other yellow card will also remain yellow. So player landing on the side and Dunjay. So it means that Natunani Punevai will just be off for the 10 rather than the 20. Brummies and Reds also look dangerous now as the competition nearing the business end. Yeah, with that win for the Reds, they are all but secured. There is still the technicality. If the Western Force beat the Fijian draw later on tonight by a big margin, they can technically overtake them. But, yeah, it's going to be intriguing to see whether or not somehow the Force can sneak there. Or whether the Reds have got it in the bag. To be fair, the Reds play in the Fijian draw in Queensland next week. They'd only need a point from that game. Line out here. Over the top, Taylor goes to TK Howden. Looping around. Casey has been quiet today, but he's just distributed the ball on the right-hand side. Now to Aval, that's going to be in a penalty advantage in favour of the Highlanders. I think he'd be struggling to get his jersey back. Says Shane. Kiwiland in Botswana. Don't worry about the ABs. Whoever they pick, they will be winners. Says Bevan there. Yeah, it is getting close to that stage where they do get selected. Probably less than a month away, which is very exciting indeed. Normally just before that final. Now, offload there from De Groot. I think that man's name is going to be written down pretty early in terms of Dave Rennie's squad. They go back now for the penalty. Next week is the test for the Canes. If they can't win that, then they may not make it, says the real Ando. Yeah, although they've got the game in hand, don't they? That's the slight bonus. In terms of the lucky loser scenario, if they finish number one, they can't be knocked out theoretically. 1 Ethan Group, 2 Taylor, 3-0. Ooh, it's a different looking 4-pack. That's my squad for the French. It's definitely... Well, it's not really well, it's kind of experimental. It's a bit of both, isn't it? In that regard. Now, line out here for the Highlanders. They're 5 metres out from the Hurricanes line. That ball's gone high and taken well. That was playing the arm from Isaiah Wakaliawiri. So advantage now in favour of the Highlanders again. 4-0 tour incoming, says Splash TV for the 15th time. Now moving this one off to the right-hand side. Now pick and go. Henry Bell. Oh, no, sorry, not Henry Bell. Jack Taylor this time. Now moving it on, Lennox wide, cut out pass from Miller. Morby goes up for it, but they'll go back for the penalty again. 5 minutes still remaining of the Highlanders yellow card. 3.5 minutes remaining of the Hurricanes card. We get to see 15 on 15 for the, hopefully for the remaining 30 minutes of this game. It's no guarantee, of course. Now scrum is the call there from the Hurricanes. From the Highlanders. Both sides have got their 8 forwards. Over there is actually the same squad that we utilised last year against the French, except for Frizzell. His score was 42-17. Says Tanner. Because is Frizzell straight back in the equation, or does he also have to have some game time in New Zealand like Moonga before he can be selected? It's about confidence and domination. If they can't dominate then, says the real Ando. This will be a good opportunity to see the defensive scrum of the Canes once again in play too. I think they might go a Casey carry off the back here. Or it might be Renton who's situated off the back. I can't quite see the number. I also can't see the hairstyle. If it was the hairstyle visible, it's Lucas Casey off the back that they're going to look at here. If this one moves, there is the penalty advantage. It moves to only about 3 metres out from the line. And Casey, that's close. In fact, it's over. And he does score the try now for the Highlanders. That gets them back into it. That is again, it's taken away the bonus point. Oh yeah, I think he isn't back until the bleeders though, says Tanner 2. 4-0 coming. Maybe 3-1, says Flash TV. Just waiting for it, and then a great pickup from Casey goes over the top of Eritara Enery. He's heading to the Dragons, isn't he, Eritara Enery? I think that was announced earlier on this week. Yeah, great finish from Lucas Casey again. Oh, hang on. Oh, they want to check this to see if it's a knock-on the ground. What have we found? Right, they want to double check the grounding here. Which again just seems like they're just trying their absolute best to find some reason not to give it. Although, oh yes, tell you what, there's a separation from the palm of the hand, they've said. It looks like he has a, oh no, there's a little slip there. Now, fair play, that is a knock on. And that scenario for Lucas Casey. He wouldn't have even felt that, though. He would have felt that that was all one motion. But the ball has slipped out of the palm, so it's going to be ruled as a knock on as he scores it. Or as he doesn't score it, I should say. So Casey's not happy here. Separation, and they didn't have the penalty. Oh, no, they did have the penalty advantage, in fact, so they will be able to go for that scrum yet again. Tawhatara Nawai, the demigod, better than Nonu, says Christ there. Right, they're going to go for the scrum feed again. Are we over there? South Africa 1, New Zealand 4. South Africa 1. Oh, wait. Who's that for? As in, like, the clubs? No, there's 4 club sides rather than the 5, isn't there? That's a rough one, says Fleshin. Yeah, and Lucas Casey's mind, he wouldn't have felt any sort of separation. He would have just been in the motion of scoring it and slammed it down and gone, yep, that's a good one. But in the super slow-mo, a little bit of separation. That's the type of one that on a Saturday would be given every day of the week, no questions asked. And no one would bat an eyelid. But Lennox now, oh no, scrum's going to be standing up here. We've still got another 32 minutes remaining in this contest. Plenty of time for either a potential comeback or a bit of a lead to build again for the Hurricanes. Tawhatara Nawai is bigger and he hits better lines. He's mean. He always beats defenders. He's had a huge amount beaten throughout this season. Last year he beat over, I think it was over 80. The year prior to that at over 70 or something like that. He's been in about 200 defenders in the past 3 years of Super Rugby. But I have theorised that to truly open up Fabian Holland, quick tap taken, Lennox goes over for the try. And that is now going to be the Highlanders' third of the contest. Trio of Taylor, Noel and de Groot. Well, we need to call up 2 power anchors in Frazão and Tuipulotu. Says Tanner 2. Yeah, quick tap taken by Lennox, and there was no retreating in time for the Hurricanes. Spot it very quickly. And it was Eritara Eneri up against Lennox. And in that case, Lennox got the job done. There will be an interesting South Africa versus New Zealand playing each other in the warm-up for the Football World Cup. Says Fleshin. Geordie don't want that Tawhatara Nawai smoke. Sabbatical, says Shane. Sabbatical. What, is in this year? He's at the Hurricanes this season. Or I assume you're talking about, what, like last year or... That one's going to go over. It's a nice one from Cam Miller. And once again, still the 100% kicking accuracy for these two sides in conditions that are normally considered relatively difficult for goal kickers in Wellington. These two have made it look easy. Kane's putting it on these days. I give love the 10s. Yeah, he's definitely in the equation, isn't he? And it comes down to, once again, what do you do with Beauden Barrett if you're Dave Rennie and Graham Henry? That one's going to be kicked off long by Love. Taken by Nareki. So another about 3 minutes remaining of the Highlanders yellow card by the looks of it. But Natanani Punivai has now made his way back out onto the field. Kick downfield to the halfway line. Josh Morby on the short side. Tackled by Ta'aval. Oh, Ta'aval may be a little bit wobbly here. So it looks like he's recovered now. Gone lower on the bench. And Hurricanes 47 to the Highlanders 26. Isn't looking too crazy now, is it? There's Big Rig. Only with the fact that you've said that the kickers will miss one. And at the moment, they just don't look like missing anything. They've got to try and score right in the corner, make it difficult for them at this stage. Now Love goes back across to Isaiah Walker. Leo Wiri drawing past Warner Durns. Offloads up to Morby. Another offload to Braden Yossi. Ball on the outside to Isaiah Walker, Leo Wiri. Trying to get into the breakdown was Jacob Ratamaitavuki Neptons. They also had Nariki next to that breakdown, so there should be a bit of space somewhere when it comes to those Highlanders backs. Oh, Eritara Eneri trying to milk the penalty. He doesn't need to, though. And Braden Yossi scores. Big gap there in the Highlanders' defence. And the Canes now take the bonus point back. I think we said that like 4 times today. Basically, the 2 power anchors use their ball, or use their ball-carrying finesse to anchor the attack. So when things get really tight, you need that hard graft ball carry to anchor the attack. Says 10-2. Bowden can watch from the stands like the rest of us. Says the real Ando. What happens here? The ball to Yossi initially. I want to see what just created this purely huge gap. Misread from Ratamaitavuki Nepkins. He was looking at the man on the outside. Dunshay was looking in. And then I think it was also Nariki just caught a little bit out of position at the back. So that was actually twice in a row that Ratamaitavuki Nepkins and Nariki created a bit of space. The Hurricanes were making the most of it. Right, Ruben Love, this will be the most difficult kick of the day. 48 metres out, 5 from 5. Is this one missing? Starts it wide and just misses away to the right. Right, 40 points to 21. The first miss of the day, Yossi or Tosi Yossi. So number 8. In this case, a Bowden equals mentor tactics coach midweek games Italy. Says XXG unit. That's the 3rd of the season for Braden Yossi. And Stanley Solomon now making his way onto the field, ladies and gents. See what he can do in the remaining moments of the game. So we'll go like that. And like that as well. There we go. Eritara Eneri. New Zealand fell off. What do you mean? Like, what's the context in that scenario? They score a try, you say they've fallen off. So either you're delayed or you're talking about something that you haven't been specific about. That is an offside, though, against the Highlanders. That was actually by an Argentine in that case. Did Argentina also fall off? Probably not. They're doing quite nicely, the old Pumas. Contender in the next Rugby World Cup. Come on, Tossi. Says the real Ando. Ball is going to be put into touch. Morby still on. Oh, there's a pole in the way. I am not 100% sure. If I'm being honest, I'll just look around the back line. He was on about 3 minutes ago when they scored that try. And I don't think they've brought Cashmore on. And I don't think he'd be the guy to replace that. Yet Morby's still out there, about second receiver from the bottom of the field. Hager's also on for Dunshay. Now, Johnny Rover, he's had a good day. And that number 12 jersey replacing Geordie Barrett late. Now Yossi moves it on to Balin Sullivan. He's looking for a 50-22, but it's gone into touch. About 5 metres outside of the 22-metre line. Watch out, New Zealand has some powerhouses. If they get a coach like Rassi, who attaches the game to culture. Current players match the 2015 AB, says just me. Now Taylor with the line out. Nicely taken by Haig for his first of the day. Lucas Casey still trying to find his first try after the last one was disallowed. 25 minutes remain in this contest, and they are separated by 29 points. Oh, sorry, 19 points. Low chopping tackle from Nariki. And the penalty is then awarded to the Highlanders. It was for not rolling away in time from the Hurricanes in the breakdown. Oh, Love's ankle's bad here. Slow. There's a heavily strapped ankle already. That is actually, I believe, the reason that he was out for a little while, but looks like he's going to try his best to stay on the field for now. They have got the replacement in Cashmore, so I don't think they need to take too many risks here. Yeah, it's just a low tackle from Nariki. Bent the ankle at an awkward angle. On out throw for the Highlanders. If the trend continues that we've seen throughout the first half, the next try... Okay, Ruben Love looked like he was yelling about it being no arms, but there was an arm wrap from Nariki, as ugly as the tackle did look. Mistake from Lavanini, but yeah, next tries go on the way of the Highlanders. If the trend of this match continues, Miller with the inside pass, Nariki knocks the ball on, and the Hurricanes, though, Now going to have their counter-attacking chance. Natunani Punivai back into the pocket. Iritara Inari to Ruben Love. Steps through. Does a chip in behind. Oh, he wasn't happy. And it is going to be a penalty to the Hurricanes. It's for playing the ball. He's saying he got hit in the face. You effing suck, bro, is what we just heard from Ruben Love. Okay, so Angus Gardner has just pretty much said to Ruben Love, whose comment came through as clear as day, pretty much, I know you've been slapped in the face, but don't use language like that. It's kids round for Super Rugby. And the kids, some of them will already know that word, but they have now learned a new one. And if their idol Ruben Love's saying it, they'll probably say it as well. He has such a way with words. He didn't mince them, did he? He just straight away said, he done like Lennox. That was who slapped him. But 22 minutes left now. On Super Round, or Super Kids Round, for shame, says Flame Man. New Zealand will never win a World Cup ever again, says Splash TV. Are these the like inspirational quotes you say in front of the mirror before bed to make yourself feel great, Splash TV? Or is it just, have you got some stats? Have you got some players who you think will help them not win one? Or is it just a random sentence? Now sitting 5 metres out from the line here for the Hurricane. Short side, Iritara Inari on the short side. Dragons bound, but dragging a player over the line there from the Highlanders. And that has broken the chain. It will be the Hurricanes bringing up 45 points, getting closer to that half century. Third of his career. Surely that man scored more than 3 tries, hasn't he? He's been at like 5 clubs. But we see it there, Ruben Love. Oh, he wanted to run at Lennox there. His nose is bleeding too. He's just a really big fan of Hong Kong, China. Ruben Love's season was flashing before his eyes with that ankle chop. Don't blame him for getting heated low-key, says Flame Man. And also get him off. We need him later, says Shane. Yeah, his nose is busted open, so they probably, I would think, should take him off now. Have Cashmore go out there for 20 just as a little bit of a run round for him and an opportunity to show that he wouldn't be a bad option if anything was to happen. Another missed kick from Ruben Love. That one's gone away to the right. Again, actually the same place that he missed the last one. Who do you think, or what do you think final score is going to be, says Jacob? We've still got 20 minutes. This is a full-time score the way that it sits at the moment, but I think the Canes will still score 2 more and the Highlanders will get 1 more. So I'm going 57-26 or so. Or if Miller stays out there the whole time, I'm going 50. Wait, what did I say before? Whatever I said the Hurricanes were going to get, 57 I think I went with, didn't I? 57-28. We'll go with. Who's coming to the Dragons? What position? Iritara Inari, I think, got announced halfback as a Dragon signing, or I think it was the Dragons. Could be wrong. Far out, Tossi, come on, brother. I wish we were my dad, says Real Ando. Going away to the right-hand side. Warner Durns moves the ball on. Josh Morby out to Balin Sullivan. Oh, big knock on from the Hurricanes there, just making the mistake. So they'll go back for the scrum, which, believe it or not, is actually somewhere that the Highlanders have flourished in this game. They just haven't been able to use it enough. Chiefs vs Crusaders was a blockbuster yesterday. Do you reckon Chiefs could win it any time soon? Says just me. I saw some really good stuff from the Chiefs. And that one, 3 World Cups, South Africa. Which sport are we talking? That they only have 3. Not football. Cricket, they haven't won one, have they? No, they haven't. How many under-20s ones? Splash, you've done the maths wrong. They've got 4, haven't they? We hear about it every day. We have there Gianni Lombard moving to the Sharks. Ooh, interesting signing. There's a lot of guys leaving those South African teams, but then a lot of good handy players coming into them as well. And cheer to the cheer, up the mighty Canes, says Mellowolf. Canes should have had a penalty overturned for swearing, says Highlanders fan. Well, I mean, you're normally allowed to swear. You're just not supposed to do it right in front of the referee. But if you question a referee by swearing at him, normally you get it reversed. But about his 35th birthday on Wednesday. Who's on top? Chiefs currently Hurricanes. In terms of the table, Chiefs in second. Quick tap taken by Lennox. Again, Ruben Love wants him. Oh no, it wasn't Ruben Love. It was actually a different man. The other man off the bench. Awkward bouncing ball. It's claimed by Ruben Love. Tackled inside of his own in-goal area. Was that late change off of the bench? I think it was Jordi Filiuan who initially missed the tackle. Yes, it was. Is Punivai still on? I'm looking around. This was on his wing. He wasn't out there anyway for that move. So I would say probably not. If I had to guess. Second from South Africa. Can Dave Rennie please pick up TK Howden at 6 for the ABs? See Cedric. It'd be an interesting signing, TK Howden. He's been a bit of a... I don't want to say a hard man because I feel like that's just a generic term that gets thrown around a bit. But he can get a good old carry going. He puts in some good tackles as well. It just depends on what style they want from their number 6. We have got there how the Dragons affording that. Maybe Wainwright is paying for that, says Fleshin. Although I don't think Eri Tarieneri would be hugely expensive. Don't get me wrong, great player, but he's not one of those guys like a Ruben Love or a Fihi Whirianofo who clubs would have to absolutely break the bank for, but you'd still get a decent wage. He's got the experience. He's been at multiple clubs. He's handy enough. But he might be a backup halfback for them. 76 South Africa players, ABs could never. What are we talking about now, Splash TV? 76 players for what? For a squad? For what are we talking about? Take the head off, clothesline tackle, always the best. Getting a fight going. Donovan Don moving to the Sharks. That's a big signing. Oh, Don's done well for Boland. Did also do very well in the blitz box setup. Currently 16 minutes remaining. Scrum penalties won. Highlanders have won 31 throughout this season. 12 more than any other side. So again, that scrum has been really a great foundation for a good set piece. Although that one fought back a little bit from the Canes, although the penalty advantage goes the way of the Highlanders. Tamofi Tava Nawai drops the ball. And now another double blow of the whistle here from Angus Gardner. This might be starting to head towards yellow card territory. Okay, that was not a warning. That was a bit more of a statement from Angus Gardner. He's pretty much said any other scrum penalty from this part of the field, someone is going to the bin. So there's no maybe he'll go to the bin if you keep on infringing. Next penalty, which could be now, because the Highlanders are only 5 metres out from the Canes line. A very nice position here, aren't the ABs playing the Sharks in August? Correct, yes. They have got their matches up against the Stormers, the Sharks, the Bulls and the Lions. Over there, you wish boy New Zealand won the first and first to do back-to-back. Now Lennox, or not. Another scrum reset here. Both front rows being told to stand up by Angus Gardner. No space in the middle. Wants a quick reset. No one's moving at the moment in terms of the props. But he'll get them set. Grant Williams leaving the Sharks. Big loss. Yeah, that's true. Because he's going Japan, right? Or am I getting him mixed up with someone else? A line out here for Lennox. Scrum feed here for Lennox. 10-12. 10-42. Says Splash TV. Now going away to the right-hand side here. Lennox moves it on to the Mothi. Tava Nawai. Now middle of the park. Now Lennox goes to the right again. Lucas Casey getting that little bit closer look for the next offload and it backfires. Double blow of the whistle. Someone is going to the bin now for the Hurricanes. And if the Highlanders are smart, they will keep on bombarding this scrum. It's going to be Tavita Mafileo. Does make his way off of the field now. Pretty unlucky. He's only come on recently, but he is the guy who did most recent. Oh no, never mind. It's Poldy Dakity Stones. I think both props thought that they were going off. Yeah, Rakati Stones will actually be the man going off, which means that Siale Lawakai will more than likely come back on for the final 14 minutes, 10 of which Hurricanes are going to be down a man. They currently do lead by 24 points, though, with a bonus point intact. Okay, Anger's going to, I think the comms have cut out. He's just trying to work out whereabouts on the field. Oh no, they're trying to work out if the Hurricanes can bring another player back. Or if it was going to become a golden oldies scrum, which is no pushing. But I think they've worked it out. Karefi's made his way off. Like they've said 8 on 7. They were already pushing hard. So Natunani Punivai looks like he is going to join the scrum for the sake of adding that 8th man and trying to hold it steady. I don't think they'll have another man go to the bin straight away, but if there's a couple more advantages, they might find themselves down to 13. Now Lennox again just waits patiently. That ball's gone out the same channel as it came in, so it should just be a reset of the scrum. Yep, there we go, same tunnel. So it is going to be a scrum reset. Cedric from South Africa, TK Howden will definitely be like a Jerome Kano, the more games he plays for the ABs. New Zealand get beat by England, says Splash TV. Again, what are we talking? We talking cricket? We talking rugby? You're missing half your vowels there. You got to add some vowels and more sentences. But now, another scrum here. King Kano. Says Christ. Meters made. That's a stat and a half. 625. Compared to the 130. That's another big scrum from the Highlanders. Casey breaks off the back. And this time, he should have the try. Now, he looks at the referee straight away to make sure that he does award that one. The Highlanders. Bonus point is still intact for the Canes, but one more for this Landers underdog team, and they will be not just back into this game, but also will be able to cancel out that bonus point for about the 4th or 5th time throughout this game. And Artie Moore in 8 and 7. It is a great big push there in case he gets that ball down. Like they've said, this time he does know that he has got it. One second. Go like that. And I like that as well. There we go. Cam Miller. 12 minutes left. Perfect day off the kicking tee for that man. And that perfect day continues. That is going to make the score now 45-28. That means for my score prediction, we still need 2 more tries from the Hurricanes. But they are down a man and struggling at scrum time here. I can tell you right now, when it comes to the scrum department, there'll be a lot of sides happy that this Highlanders side haven't made the top 6. Now, outside of the scrums, that's where a lot of their issues have started. For this Highlanders team, Graham Henry watching on for this game. We have there, my son's name is Kano with a C, named after Jerome Kano. Says Cedric there. Scrum going to be something to work on for the Canes, getting into the finals maybe, says Flame Man. Yeah, although most sides have struggled up against the Highlanders. And normally the Hurricane scrum doesn't do too badly at times. I reckon there's more solid. Artie is just flashy. No real specialty. Says bad to the bone. Big wide cut out pass here for the Hurricanes. Natunani Punivai. Tackled low by Miller. Now Cashmore moves it on to Isaiah Walker Leowiri. But in a solid 70 minutes today, Ruben Love's still out there on the field. I don't think we've seen a Stanley Solomon carry just yet. But backline movement, he may have to make a tackle. Natunani Punivai delays the pass out to Yossi. Now Phil Ewan Back across to Tavera Mafileo, the man who almost got himself the yellow card, but then Polri Stones. They come off instead. Moving away to the right-hand side. I think the Hurricanes may look to shift this so that Stanley Solomon has to make a tackle. Currently, he is waiting out on the wing. Solomon on this near side. Larkai up the middle. Phil Ewan. On to the left-hand side again. Someone getting told not to do something in the breakdown. Referee quite angry at him for it. 10 minutes now remaining in this contest. Morby, 22 metres out from the line. And now that's another drop ball. This time knocked on by the Hurricanes. That's a worst case scenario there because that now once again puts the scrum off the Highlanders' feet. We have got their Canes are going to win. Warriors are going well. So here's Moa Hunters. And then there's also Auckland FC playing too. And is it the final of the A-League? And then straight after this game, there is Fiji and Roa versus Western Force. Now that game, the Western Force need a bonus point from it to even have half a chance of making the top 6. If they don't win that game with the 5 points at the end of it, competition is secure in terms of the top 6, but the top 6 can shuffle a lot. If the Canes get the final at home, they'll win the Super Rugby comp. So here's Cedric. But we also have to remember, if they're number 1 qualifier and they lose their playoff game, they will still be in the competition, but they lose that home field advantage. That's what we saw the Chiefs have last year when they were the lucky loser up against the Blues. Which I think in the end resulted in an away final from memory. 8 minutes remaining. Scrums have taken up a few minutes of the second half. It definitely hasn't been as open as it was in the first half. It's kind of short, snappy attacks scattered between the set piece. The Hurricanes holding strong this time in the scrum. Lennox has to get it out or else they may have been walked over backwards. Timothy Tavanawai hits it up again. Lennox looking to the right. Ta'aval there. He's got Ethan de Groot on his flank. Now Lennox looking to send it high. Currently separating these two sides is the 17 points. One's gone high. Slapped back by Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins. But straight there was Isaiah Walker-Leawiri. I'd probably argue, I know that he's had a couple mistakes, Walker-Leawiri. This has probably been one of his better games for the Hurricanes in the last little while. Has anyone mentioned the impressive performance from Moana Pacifica today? Not really. In the comments, they had a brilliant start to the second 40, didn't they, up against the Reds, almost managing to win that game, and then just the discipline near the end. The Reds scoring that crucial try right near the end of the game. Now Warner Durns. But yeah, if the Reds had lost that would have made this next game, Fiji and Royal Western Force, much more intriguing for the top 6 situation. Now Phil Ewan moves it on. Oh no, Ruben Love passes it to absolutely no one. Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins wanted to bounce of the ball. He's kind of been taken out by Ruben Love there. He was trying to dive for that ball. Now cross kick from Isaiah Walker-Leawiri. Good contest in the end. Nicely taken by Morby. I guess that, I don't know whether or not he should do it every game in terms of a cross kick from a lock, but it probably backs up the fact that he's actually done quite nicely in that department. Comeback season. Says, hey, no there. I think the Canes still have one more try in them, I would say. The 50 could be on the cards. Nice ball. Johnny Rover passes to Jordy Fuguewan. They may want to check that to make sure that it did go in a backwards direction, but the ball is stolen by the Highlanders anyway. Good work from Jack Taylor, and now Lennox will be able to bust it or boot it way downfield into touch. That was a very unexpected second half, says Pro Pleb. Look at there, Hamish, the amount of debt South Africa has, no country has. New Zealand has an ageing problem. Says Splash, although there are a few young players in New Zealand too. But I think it's once again coming down to something that I mentioned a couple weeks ago, which is like more than one team are allowed to be considered good. I know for some people that's a really hard concept to get the brain around, but like sides have their positives, they have their negatives in terms of what they do well. And this whole mindset of only one side's allowed to be good, everyone else sucks, and my team's the very best is all well and good. But like you still have to give some credit to other sides, or else people just dislike you. And it does kind of give rugby fans a bit of a bad name, doesn't it? But each to their own. Off to Jacob Ratamaitavuki Netkins now, moving it on to Jonah Nariki. You also got to remember, rugby's a changing game. 2 years' time, we could see Argentina, top of the world, World Cup champions. We could see Spain come from the depths of not getting to take part in the last Rugby World Cup to doing very well all of a sudden, like they've done on the Seventh Circuit. We could see, one of those Pacific Island sides all of a sudden flourish. Fiji making it to the semis of the World Cup. You just don't know, but that's the kind of fun part of rugby. Big knock-on there from the Highlanders, backed up by a knock-on from Ruben Love. Note they've said it's gone behind him. Will we play on? Here's Billy Proctor, that number 23 jersey. Initially wasn't named in the 23. We have got there Lucas Casey, a promising player for the future of the ABs. Absolutely, he has come onto the scene like a house on fire here for the Highlanders season. We have got there Moana Pacifica played great, but choosing the penalty goal at the end was an ill-informed tactical decision, says Flame Man. Yeah, they kind of needed to go for the corner, didn't they? And nobody ever stays at the top forever, and people remember, says Fleshin. Yeah, and I'm not even going to use the example that came to my brain straight away, Fleshin, because you've heard it too many times already. But, I'm thinking of. That Canes number 21 for the Canes. I guess he's a South African. I think he had the chance of going either way. He went for the All Blacks in terms of what international team he wanted to play for. I think he had a South African parent and a New Zealand parent. Now Lennox goes away to the right-hand side. Carry there for Stanley Solomon, the first of his career, tries to get back. Uh-oh. There was almost a season-ending injury for Solomon with the way that his knee twisted around there. Knock on from De Groot, jogging sideways as Peter Larkai. Now Proctor moves it on to the outside. Cashmere. Cashmore, in fact. Now Filion back across to Warner Dearns again. Now Balin Sullivan. Offloads up to Isaiah Walker, Leo Wiri. One-handed NFL-style pass there to Love from his back. Cashmore, he decides that the boot downfield is the better option. Currently 2.5 minutes remaining. It's going to bounce straight into the hands of Stanley Solomon. He's getting told to run it by the crowd, but he will kick it downfield. Oh, slapping that one back was Johnny Rover, just looking to control it. Passes it to Ruben Love, take him back. And again, a big boot downfield. Take there from Cam Miller. And towards the sideline, looking for the 50-22. He's got too much on that one, Miller, and it will go all the way dead. And they'll go all the way back for the scrum feed. However, there was, not sure. I got sure of ourselves like some fans are about their team, says Fleshin, and I'm done. Says Highlanders fan. Well, I guess I know what you mean, but you are also factually correct because this is the last game for the Highlanders. 90 seconds until their Super Rugby season is over. They have got the bye in the final round. I bring on 2027 with their full-strength team. Says Highlanders fan. And just imagine if the Pumas win the 2027 World Cup, I don't think Argentina would see it coming. They've been slowly building the Argentines. I'm liking what they're doing throughout the last couple of years. It's a shame that we don't get to see the Rugby Championship this year, though, because I think they, with the progress that they've been making, would have been real contenders. Bonus point securing kick attempt. Says Flame Man. Now back across to the left-hand side. And I have to say, throughout this final 20 minutes, I don't want to jinx it, which I'm about to. Peter Larkai running this one forward. Offload to Morby. I was about to say, they've defended extremely well, the Highlanders. Pauri Rackety Stones. Oh no, he's dropped it over the line. So it will be no try for the big man there. But yeah, they've defended for this last 20 minutes and haven't conceded throughout this period. So, solid from this Highlanders side. Unfortunately, though, the 45 other points that they've conceded in this game is just the one that really has hurt them. We see it there. The way that ball just slipped through the fingers. See it? We'll go along that. There we go. Goal line dropout now. Ruben Love. Cross there to Peter Larkey. Big run. He's gone for the full 80 throughout this contest as well. AB's ranking second in the world rugby. Not performing at their best, so watch the space under Dave Rennie. Cedric now going short side here for the Canes, looking to score. The try that would bring up their half century. Now, back across to the right-hand side. Ruben Love. It was almost intercepted by Lavanini, but it will still be play on as the ball goes straight back to the Canes. Morby towards the corner. He's just been driven into touch. He may have got a bit of cramp there too. And we have got the U-turn into an auction here. Says Bro Pleb. Right, they want to see a grounding. I don't think he's got one here. But then they now want to check whether or not there's like a... Okay, the player is out. Full time is the call. Ruben Love wanted the penalty for a deliberate knockdown. Lavanini almost managed to claim that one. I didn't realise this is Highlanders' last game of the season. Yeah, it's a bit sad to think about the fact that everyone else will play next week. But sadly for the Landers, that is the end of the year for this side. They will not make the playoffs. And sadly, they will not end with a high of getting a victory in Wellington. We have got there. What did the Canes... Or why did the Canes not play... Litterus says Jude, full-time. Yes, it is full-time. And good game, says Pro Pleb. And there as well, what happens when they lose the series? You won't stop talking about it for the next decade, I would think. And Miller, last game for the Highlanders. Yeah, he's potentially going to the Blues, I think was the rumour. W. Ruben Love says Pro Pleb. Was it a tactical decision by the Box and the ABs to cancel the championship to stunt the Argentines' build to the World Cup? Tell you what, she's a bit of a conspiracy theory, but not too bad a one. As Ruben the man of the match, I think it's going to be either Ruben Love, Isaiah Walker-Leawiti, or Peter Larkey. Those are my three guesses, and those are the three who I would probably give it to in this case. I think Walker-Leawiti's actually had his, like I said, probably his best game in a Hurricanes kit for quite some time. But the Hurricanes, I should also mention, they have confirmed their spot. By the sounds of it, they are going to be playing on the Friday for the playoffs, seeing as they are that number one qualifier. Morby, Morby had a good first half, didn't he? So, yeah, he's got the man of the match in this case. Or, unless they're just interviewing him. I assume he's getting the man of the match with the fact that they're interviewing him straight away. There's where this one's about. Says Fleshin. And there as well. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We will be back at 1:30 a.m, ladies and gents, and that is going to be the contest taking place between Bordeaux and Leinster, a battle of Europe, a battle of the Champions Cup final. It should be a very impressive one. So if you are still randomly awake, be sure to stick around for that one. Do you still feel the ref was poor in this game, says Xander? I think it's one of those ones, like a ref's always going to have one or two moments that doesn't go as planned, but I've got to the stage now that, like, it's going to sound weird to say, but I don't really judge referees that much anymore. Like, purely because of the fact that it's not going to change. World Rugby, they have their referees. They're going to select them whether people complain or not. So it's almost, I saw someone describe it quite well, and it's, you consider it like a handling error or a penalty like that, and you just put it as the equivalent of that. A mistake made, but it's like one of those ones that you can still bounce back from. With all due respect, I can't stand that low quality streaming last night. It needed to be a substitute, says Bo Pleb. Well, no one's putting their hand up because of how badly any guest that we have gets treated. So I think from now on, more than likely, I just won't have anyone. Unless, of course, like Haino is still willing to do it, which fair play to him. He took everything on the chin that he went through. But yeah, like, it's probably going to be the case I just won't put replacements in. Because any replacement I've put in throughout the last couple months has been treated terribly. Plain and simple. So we just won't do it anymore. The game is already over, bro. Watching from South Africa. Why are you Kiwis behind, says Jaden. The game's over. It's finished. See, 45-28. It has come to a close. They're interviewing Asafo Amor. He's the third man that they've interviewed after the game. We have then New Zealand coaches are at a disadvantage because they are chasing Rasi. Says Blash TV. And that sucks, says Big Rig. Why dudes have to be jerks? Says Big Rig. Yeah, like, I guess the way that I look at it is I always thought it was better to have something than nothing for the streams. But that's also the way that some people don't look at it. So either I have to do auditions for streaming potential opportunities, or we just leave it and just have a game off. We have got there the beers from Hobbit and there as well. And Mike says Jude. And we have it there, you should know better, Splash. The Box lost a lot of games against the ABs to be on top. So if we lose, says Cedric. Have a good night, bro. Says Pro Pleb in there as well. Same to you. But yeah, we might see a few of you on at 1:30 a.m. We over there, that's fair. I don't like saying anything negative. I think your channel has high quality content. I think same as for nothing. Says Pro Pleb. Yeah, it sounds like that's the way that it might have to be. But then also at the same time, we may have a few streams missing in the future because we've had a few fill-ins throughout the last couple of months in terms of those games that I have either slept during or done things like that. We over there, rugby brings too much emotion in some, says Ander. Last night was not good, says the real Ando. And I love the stream, says G Unit. And there as well. But the Highlanders, they were just saying that they wanted to finish it well. You said UFC stream. Well, probably not possible if I'm doing all the rugby ones too. We'll see what happens. We've got a couple months where we've got to try and work out what's actually happening on the channel in terms of streams. Arasi will not be on top forever. We need to take that top spot. But yeah, nonetheless, Hurricanes top spot. Highlanders finished for the year. But we will see a few of these Highlanders men in action, more than likely for the All Blacks. But it's whether or not Rennie does look at what's happened during this regular season. You've got to look at that scrum penalty count. I think that Ethan de Groot, he's probably booked himself a spot in that All Black selection situation. Lucas Casey could be a bolter, depending on what they look at. Maybe one or two of the men in the back line would have a bit of a chance. And there's well, but nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all for the next one.